Hey, you fine folk, you're watching Chaotic TV. We're bringing you Game 4 of this Best of 5 series. In the bottom left, on Daybreak, we have the Blue Zerg playing for Team Liquid, which his color is blue. He is TLO. Woo. Sorry for the camera switch.
And spawning across from him, on Daybreak, the Red Protoss player. He's the hometown favorite here at IEM Katowice. This is MaNa.
It is in Katowice, Poland, and MaNa is Polish, as well as Nerchio, the Acer player, who has actually kind of blossomed a little bit since he's gotten a Zerg buddy in the form of Scarlet, and a Terran buddy in the form of, MMA. But this is Daybreak, a very balanced map, a very favored map from all players who like a good macro game. And I'm kind of curious to see what we're going to see out of these players. We see MaNa with the close pylon, not a farther forward pylon, but he is probably going to go for that Forge Fast expand that we've seen in the last game. He is not most likely going for a MC type cannon rush into expansion.
Yeah, we saw early Stargate opening from MaNa last game, and it didn't really do anything for him. I think it came a little bit too late for the normal purposes of a Stargate opening, and he went with the first Void Ray, which would be good if he could just deny the third, but by the time it got there, the fourth base was building, and there was just enough queens and creep around to just completely deny it.
And out of these players, we see a pylon block coming down from MaNa. He's continuing his normal harassment at the early game, trying to keep his APM up by microing back home and out in the front lines, blocking off those hatcheries. We actually see a Forge first from MaNa this time. Usually he goes Nexus first, dropping that Forge directly afterwards, but we see Forge first this time. Probably thinking that TLO is going to do something different in this game.
I'd like to see a cannon go down here just to be a dick, but you almost never see it anymore. Because if that cannon ends up finishing, it can finish before those two, well, I guess it's 4 Zerglings now, so that would have been able to clean it up.
Yeah, TLO using 4 this time instead of just the 2. He was kind of miffed at MaNa last game for blocking him off that much, but MaNa's actually supply capped and has to wait until another pylon comes down, and when he notices it, at least. That's kind of a pain.
Cardinal rule of pylon blocking is don't count on that supply.
Another pylon did actually finish in the back of his base, and now the gases are dropping after that gateway. So we're going to see pretty standard play out of at least MaNa. Again, these two players seem like the kind of players that don't change it up all that much, which is not something you can really knock on. Ooh, he's hiding a little probe in the bottom left here. But as I was saying, you can't knock on somebody who tries a tried and true method with a little bit of variation. If it works, and then don't fix it for some players. Some players get to the point where they just get bored with whatever they're doing and they try something new out of, curiosity or something like that.
Those Zerglings running all around looking for the probe that's hiding in his main. Little does he know. I guess we'll see if it comes to the point where that causes issues or if he finds it first. Oh god, what did I do? That's okay.
Are you good?
I pushed the back button.
Sorry about that, viewers. I'm going to have to do a little bit of weird stuff with that. But I actually had to do an interesting fix at work today. It was kind of, oh, we see another Stargate coming out of MaNa. I wonder what he's going to be building out of that. This is a bigger map, so I don't expect another Void Ray as we saw in the first game.
Build flying units out of that.
I don't say first game, meaning first game. I mean first Stargate game, which was MaNa in the last game on Entomb Valley. But this is a very happy map for early third hatchery for Zerg. I'm almost tempted to restart this replay entirely, but we're not going to. 7 minutes into it. We're just going to keep trucking on through. We see even two evolution chambers coming down out of TLO. It's a little different than we saw last game, or 2 games ago when we saw him go 1 evolution chamber approaches. Oh, he did see it, and he is taking it out completely.
He just randomly sent a queen over there. I don't know, Overlord flew over or what, but
it's very possible. Or
maybe he's just hacking. Maybe one of the observers told him.
Ooh, TLO, you naughty boy.
And MaNa supply blocked again.
Yep, still no layer out of TLO, I mean, granted, he's had his extractors up for a little while. He's been spending it all on upgrades instead, so he's going to be doing this low-level tech for at least a little while. Probably dropping a, well, looks like he's going to drop a Baneling Nest pretty soon, I imagine. He's got Macro Hatch coming out. Looks like he might be going for that heavy production Zergling style play.
Scouting Overlord did see the Stargate and Phoenix that was shooting it at the same time, so TLO knows he needs to get his Overlords off the map and get some sort of colors up. So that's what we see him doing as MaNa tech switches into Robo.
MaNa has supply block TLO right now. TLO having his Macro Hatch a little bit forward so that the creep spread is actually helped by it towards that third base.
Yeah, when you just don't want to put that extra APM into dropping creep tumors.
Or you don't have that extra queen to simply for the purpose of spreading creep tumors. We see more Phoenix coming out of MaNa right now, as well as a Warp Prism. So he's going to do some more Zealot Warp Bins. And all of the gases are now taken for TLO. He's starting to fill them up with it.
You're not going to cut them this time for us?
Drones. He's got all. That's good enough. It's more. It's encompassing. And two drones taken out of the gas of.
A single 2 drones. Absolutely.
I can count.
Sentry is full. This Warp Prism.
Oh yeah.
Wandering across the map.
Oh, very nice. Still supply blocks MaNa is, so I think he's kind of hindered it right now. He's gaining quite a little bit of
yeah, it's
minerals
hard
and
to
gas
win with
going
that Warp Prism with no supply room though. So I don't know. He's gonna. Oh, he's just dropping. He's not unfolding the warp in yet. Oh, there, just in time.
He's doing the high ground supply. Excuse me, not supply. Force field.
Sentries are tickling the crap out of that Spore Crawler.
Going to keep dropping all of the force fields he can, and all of the drones are trying to get out. They're not going to be able to, especially with all of these zealots right here to take out this queen. But the well-placed Spore Crawlers are going to be able to knock out this Warp Prism no matter where it is, if he's unlucky at all. How many drones have we lost so far? 9 have been lost to the Protoss.
There's a few more though.
And the supplies are evening up. The zealots are trying to get through that force field themselves, and the 2 roaches are going to be able to be knocked out, as well as the number of circling.
Tickler to death is Overlord.
He's going to have to warp in a couple more sentries to be able to keep holding up this force field. All of the high-energy sentries have been knocked out completely, and all of these zealots are going to have to face the fury of all of these Zerglings.
There's a bunch of zealots there, but there's too many Zerglings to deal with. I don't know. I think MaNa could have cut his losses and picked up some of those units and ran away, but he opts to just kill what he can with his units and go regroup. Here's some Phoenixes taking out some more Overlords. But TLO does have plenty of supply. This is going to put him close to a cap.
Looks like he's going to try a little bit of a counterattack, actually. Some of his roaches getting picked up on the way, because, you know, having only 2 Phoenixes, it's not going to kill too many that quickly. And he's reinforcing back home with a number of Immortals and Sentries.
Roach is keeping an eye on these Phoenixes, or the other way around, possibly. Takes Phoenixes so long to kill a Roach.
It does indeed, and but it doesn't take very long for all these Immortals to kill a Roach. We have a third one going to be popping out before this battle even happens. Plenty of sentries here to ward off all of these Zerglings with a simple force field, and the Immortals will have at it, taking the forefront in that attack, and the Warp Prism is continuing to warp in Zealots at the 4th of this TLO.
I think TLO is actually going to commit to attack until he has at least Roach speed. That said, the Infestation Pit is about to finish. You'll probably see Pathogen Gland start right off. Since he can afford it. I can afford it.
Since TLO was able to draw, or excuse me, MaNa was able to draw TLO back to his home base, he went and took his own third. That is some great, you know, subliminal planning that you would see out of a pro player. Now he's actually going to Colossi for the first time. We saw some hallucinated Colossi in the last game.
He's really looking to this too. Got external thermal alliances started and dropping another robo. Drawn Weapons level 2 is about to finish. You'll probably see him go to 3 quickly after. 3 attack upgrade on Colossus external thermal alliances just does such a number on ground forces. I mean, doesn't matter what they are.
But we have no higher tech coming out from TLO right now. He's got a layer, but we don't see any. Oh, we see 7 infestors right as I say that. So we see the choices of TLO is going to be the Infestor Zergling Roach composition. 4 Zealots are going to go into this Warp Prism in the top left, and he's going to try another drop somewhere. Probably just at the 3rd, because there's not all that much to hold him back. And I mean, there's plenty of Roaches at the natural, and plenty of Zerglings running around the map.
2-2 is about to finish for TLO, as well as Burrow, so he'll be able to move these infestors around while underground. It's very convenient for infestors, since they're pretty fragile above ground.
The Immortal Sentry forces here to block TLO from killing off this Nexus, but it looks like he's going to be able to do it anyway. Oh, the Nexus drops.
Down. There. Just as many units as he needed to kill that Nexus. That's a pretty big win for TLO there, stopping that third base coming up. He's got all the tech that he wants. He's going to want Spire soon. As soon as he sees Colossus, he's going to want Spire.
If I were TLO, I would kind of cancel that Burrow and put it out on one of the hatcheries so I can just make a hive, because he does need that hive for level 3 upgrades on the double Evo chamber he's got going. He's got 16 Overlords just making creep in the middle of his base, which is kind of funny, actually, to watch. And it sounds just like a gentle rainstorm. If I had a tin roof, it would sound even more perfect to fall asleep to. No Spire and no Corruptors coming out for TLO right now. Against these Colossi, that's going to be a huge problem.
Oh, now he knows what the Colossus is. 3 of them roast the crap out of the Zerglings. There comes the Spire right behind that. Let's see if he can force to cancel on this path to the Nexus or not.
He did indeed cancel it, and there is no sentry back home to block off TLO from getting into the main base, but he opts not to. He's going to go and try to run away, but he's completely choked on 2 sides here by 4 Colossi. Just look at the Zerg rows.
This might end the game here.
It's a huge amount of supply lost to a nice little barbecue.
Such good force fields too. Just blocking those Roaches into one little arc for those Colossus to just melt down. He ended up not even losing any of his Colossus in that fight. He's just so far ahead right now on army supply. We see TLO scrambling to reinforce with as many Roaches as he can. He doesn't have the ability to make Corruptors yet. Yeah, I don't know. This army should be able to walk right over this, unless there's some god-level fungals or something.
Even with those god-level fungals, I don't think that TLO has the snuff to manage this. Look at these god-level force fields blocking everything. All of these infested swarm eggs are going to be dropping to these almost +3 Colossi with their 10 range. They are just melting away, and we continue to see a Zerg barbecue in this game. TLO actually low on the supply count right now compared to MaNa, which is never ever something you want to see as a Zerg.
And he's completely out of banks, so he might just have to tap out here. And such a strong army still going in. Just looking forward to take out the Roaches, set to a rally a little ways away.
The reinforcing Warp Prism is doing what it can to continue the punishment. All of these infestors are going to do nothing with their energy because they don't have all that much energy. We have 8 infested Terrans coming down, but that's really not enough against 4 Colossi, only one of whom has taken any hull health. And then we see the GG from the Team Liquid player. Tying the series 2-2 is the MouseSports player. And we saw a very exciting game on Daybreak. Kind of a mistake. Just a mistake by TLO not building that Spire and getting a number of Corruptors out for safety's sake, or at least having the Spire so he could reinforce with Corruptors.
I think he just missed the scouting there. He just didn't see the Colossus coming.
Very true on that, but we're going to bring you this series Game 5 on Ohana, actually, in just a second from Chaotic TV. I'm KO.
This is Eclipse.
And let's see who wins this. Pow.